Hi everyone. This video is intended to introduce you to how we are going to be using problem-based learning in our American government class this year. To start, I would like you to take a look at these images and think about what comes to mind when you first think about them. So if you notice, we have images of money, healthcare, education, and then also maps showing different minimum wage in different states. So you probably start thinking about current events that you hear about on the news, the things that we have talked about in class. And a lot of these topics are things that we are seeing cause conflict between different people in our society. From those images, I also want you to think about these two. So the first one we see relates to voting. The second one is showing tension between political parties. So from those images of current events and this kind of political tension, those ideas are is going to be driving the problem that we are going to be looking at. So our problem relates to this question of what causes political discord in our country, and then how does that affect voter turnout? So we want to think about the different tension that we see and then consider what kind of effects does that tension actually have. So our goal is to become more aware of current issues and their impact on the political landscape and voter turnout. So throughout this project, you should hopefully gain an awareness for these current events and these current issues. And then also you should be able to share those current issues with community members so they can also be aware of what is going on politically. Throughout this project, you'll be focusing on four main objectives. You will be able to evaluate current sources of political discord and how they shape the political landscape. So, thinking about what events and what sources, what kind of issues are actually driving that tension. You will compare and contrast potential solutions to student generated sources of political discord. So, those are going to be the sources that you actually find, the ones that you come up with, and you're going to be considering the advantages and disadvantages. You will analyze connections between political discord and voter turnout. So, really trying to look at how does that tension affect voting and how does it affect voters and how they feel about what is going on in the country. And then you will create a product, either a website, a digital book, or a video to inform voters about current issues. Throughout this process, we'll be focused on 7 main steps to help us go from this problem that we're looking at and then how we're going to be presenting it. So, step 1, presenting the problem. So, we're going to be looking at right now, this is what we are thinking about considering this problem. So, this problem is an ill structured problem because there's no right answer. And there should be many solutions to it. So, that's why we have different groups. We'll be working on those solutions. Hopefully, you also have different levels of understanding and different knowledge about these issues that you're bringing to your group. And remember, our problem that we're focusing on is this political tension and then the effects that is having on voter turnout. Step 2, you'll be working together to actually create a defined statement of the problem. Step 3, you identify information needed to understand the problem. So you want to think about what do you already know, and then what do you need to find out, and how could you go about finding that out? So maybe you need to first define what is political discord, or you need to find data about voter turnout, or actually look at some of these current events and figure out what is currently going on. Step 4, you identify resources that you'll be using. So you really want to focus on credible sources that you can find, and we'll be looking at ways that we can determine what is considered credible. You also want to work with community members so you can talk to elected officials, media, voters to really gain multiple perspectives on these issues. And here are a couple of resources that you can use in your research. The first one, Points of View Reference Center. We are going to take a look at this. It is from Info Ohio, and it's nice because it has a lot of different categories that you can choose from. And for example, if we take a look at economics, and if we look at raising the minimum wage, because that was one of the images that we first looked at, when you go here, you can see the point and the counterpoint, and you can look at different perspectives about the issue. So hopefully help you to better understand different sides. Newsella, that is where you can find articles based on your reading level. So in a group, you can be working together, looking at the topics but working at an individualized reading level. TED Ed provides great videos. So if you're more of a visual learner, that would help you. If you would like to hear what's going on, see what's going on, that'll be a good resource. And of course, Google News. So if you want to search for headlines and current events, that is a good place to start. Step 5, you're going to generate possible solutions. So also consider from those solutions, how is that going to affect different individuals and groups in your community, the state level, the national level? Step 6, you're going to actually analyze those solutions. So you want to consider the advantages and disadvantages. Also talk to community members that we mentioned so you can get their perspectives. Remember, it's a community issue, so you really need to get their involvement. And then step 7, you're going to share your solution. So you'll be presenting it to a panel of those community members. And there's a couple options that you can consider. If you want to create a website, you can do things like Weebly and you can use Wix. If you would like to create a video, Screencastify, iMovie, a digital book, you could use Canva and Book Creator. And if we look at Canva, for example, you can create a design and it gives you so many different options so you can really find one that works best for you. Or if you have a source that you prefer, you can think about that as well. So remember, from this problem, you are thinking about this political discord and then really trying to figure out what sources are driving that discord and then how is that affecting voter turnout. And the ultimate goal then is to raise this awareness and also to share what you are finding with community members.